Hear me out, guys. What if I told you Gabriel is actually Lila Rossi in disguise?
No, we're not doing that video. We're not doing that video. We scrapped it. Yeah. Are you sure? I mean, I'm pretty sure they were really invested in this. I mean, they would like to hear it. Okay. We'll just go back to the original video, I guess. We'll just go back.
Today, guys, we'll be ranking the top 10 most underrated Akumatizations. Now, with this list, I'm gonna make sure that I don't include anyone that's like overrated, except for one of these characters, but I have a reasoning for that I'll explain later. But honestly, I feel like these like Akumatizations could have done like so much better if like they were a little bit smarter with their power. So today, we're gonna be talking about that, and we're gonna be ranking that today. Please excuse the excessive ums and honesties that I use in this video. I don't know why it's such a bad habit. I'll try my best to stop. Now at number 10 we have Sandboy. Now I know this episode was like really hyped up as we got to see the Kwamis and their different interactions and more sadness for Nuru, but honestly I feel like this Akumatization was so underrated. So Sandboy's power, if you don't recall, is he can turn nightmares into reality, and this was actually really interesting to me because, like, let's say for an example, you have think of your worst nightmare right now, whether it be spiders, sharks, waking up at 3 a.m. because you forgot to finish an assignment that was due at 12. Just think of that coming into reality. And now this could be really dangerous because if someone in Paris has one really bad nightmare, who knows what might happen to Ladybug and Cat Noir. So I feel like his impact overall could have been a lot more immense. Like obviously, like the Akumatization had like a lot of like impact on the episode because again we had to see more of the Kwamis, but honestly I feel like this power is like so unbelievably underrated to me because the fact that, okay, any like nightmare that could have been again too bad could lead to immense damage over Paris, and honestly this power was just overall cool too. I mean, it's such a fun idea, so I wish we could have seen like another Akumatization for Sandboy as we've seen for past Akumatizations, and hopefully something similar will be making a return with Lila Rossi in control. At number 9, now this Akumatization wasn't too big, but honestly I feel like the power is really underrated. So this was when Luca got akumatized for the first time, and this episode is known as Silencer. Now Silencer has like a really cool ability. I mean, he's able to take someone's voice and rendering them unable to speak, and being able to mimic their voice using his hands or whatever he uses, I forgot, but he uses this to use voice manipulation, which is really cool to think about. Now, as for his impact on what he would have on the characters, now, again, we saw if he takes Ladybug's voice or Cat Noir's voice, they won't be able to transform if they ran out of time, or if he like took Marinette or Adrian's voice before they even transform. This would leave like a huge problem, as we can see. And to be honest, it's really cool to see like something like this happen, because honestly, voices have like such a big impact. And I mean, let's say for an example, he steals someone's important as like the mayor's voice. I mean, imagine what he can do with that. He can put in, I guess, any rule, because I guess that's how it works in this series. I mean, the mayor has a lot of power in Miraculous. So if he was akumatized without anyone knowing and he stole the mayor's voice, imagine what damage he could have done. I mean, he could have just overall banned Ladybug and Cat Noir, because we've seen that happen in past episodes. I mean, he could have done a lot. Like, he could have been playing a lot within the strings. So I feel like if, you know, Gabriel had like a little bit more like knowledge to his power, if he would have kept this like secret, like that he akumatized him, I feel like this could have had like such a real big damage. And honestly, I want to know what you guys think of this overall episode. If you guys remember Silencer, I want to know like the cool ways that you guys think these people might have used their powers on their list, so be sure to comment down below. Now at number 8, this one might be a little bit biased because you know how big of a fan I am of Lila. At number 8 we have Chameleon. Now Chameleon's power is really cool as they're able to transform, well, she's able to transform into people and manipulate their voices and appearances. So basically she can steal someone's like whole identity, and she can appear as them, which is honestly a really dangerous power to have. I mean, if someone mimics you or takes her appearance and does some really bad stuff, then well, you're kind of in a bad spot. But honestly, I feel like Chameleon's like power, like the way Lila used it was really smart. It really shows like how much like of an impact if like the akumatized people use like their miraculous like or their akumatization like correctly. Like if they like had a lot of knowledge to what they were doing, it's absolutely insane what these people could be doing. I mean, like these akumatizations that I'm listing off right now is like something that can have like such a big impact. And obviously they're not as strong as like Cat Blanc or someone's power like that, but to think of what they can do with their power is insane. And plus the design was overall really cool. But honestly, I feel like being able to transform into people's identity could lead to some really bad things in Paris, and I'm pretty sure that Lila will use this in the new seasons, taking someone's appearances or akumatizing someone to take their appearance. But all in all, being able to take someone's appearance is pretty dangerous, and as I've explained with Silencer, being able to use someone's voice is also really dangerous. So included and combined with transforming to people in general and using their voice, this could lead to a lot of bad things. So honestly, I gotta rank this at number 8 for having a really cool design and overall just really being underrated. Now at number 7 we have Star Train. Now Star Train's power was so cool to me because I mean she was able to travel at like high speed like through a train, and honestly obviously at first glance this is like seems like a really basic ability, but being able to travel at like a very fast speed, like almost faster than speed of light, is pretty dangerous. I mean, again, if Ladybug and Captain Noir didn't have like those power-ups, then the people in that train they would no longer be here with us today. But honestly, the power is just really cool because honestly, the being able to travel like through a train, like all the way to space, like all the way to the sun. I mean, this akumatization was already dangerous at first, but like thinking of like what else they could do with this, like what else like Star Trainer could have used her power for. I mean, she could have like, hypothetically, she could have like hit the train, like she could have hit Cat Noir or Ladybug with the train, and I think Gabriel would have won from that, but let's not think a little too dark. Anyways, I feel like the power could have been used like even more, like a little bit more like to Gabriel's advantage. But the reason I rank this at number 7 is because it's honestly underrated. I mean, being able to travel like at such high, gotta make sure the mic's on, being able to travel like so fast with the train is honestly cool to think about. And honestly, I feel like the design was also underrated too, but overall the akumatization was really cool to think about. So now at number 6, now I know this akumatization is in no way underrated, but honestly I feel like the power that it had is overall just underrated, and what like she could have done with this power, like especially if she was introduced in later seasons. And the person that I put at number 6 is Catalyst. Now again, I know it's not too like underrated at all. I mean, Catalyst had like such a huge effect and everyone remembers that akumatization, but being able to like enhance someone's power is insane, and the fact that she used it on Gabriel is just crazy. It really shows how smart Nathalie is. But honestly, I loved how like she was able to use the power to akumatize everyone. And honestly, if we think about like what would happen if like it happened in later seasons, seeing like all the stronger akumatizations, I'm not sure they would have had like the same chance that they did like earlier seasons, because obviously they knew how to like take care of everyone's akumatization, again because they knew where the akumatization was, or the Akuma was, so they were able to take it out easily. But if they were, you know, if Catalyst would have been introduced later in the seasons, I imagine she akumatized someone like Stormy Weather, and seeing how powerful Stormy Weather was, that would have been really bad. I mean, Stormy Weather is one of the coolest akumatizations and very strong. Or she would akumatize someone like Star Train. Yeah, Catalyst has so much potential, and it's a good thing that she was introduced so early in the season. But overall, if she would have stayed as Catalyst, then I think that she would have won with that ability. So honestly, I feel like the akumatization is like, again, I know it's not too underrated, but the things that she could have done with the akumatization is severely underrated. And again, the akumatization was cool. Like the whole design was really cool. I mean, I love the mask thing. It's just cool, guys. I'm sorry, I just had to put this on. Now at number 5, we have the Mime. Now this one was really interesting to me because honestly, it doesn't seem like a cool power at all, but being able to create anything out of thin air is honestly such a cool ability. I mean, the imaginations and possibilities that you could do with this ability is absolutely insane. And overall, I feel like the design is like really cool to think about. Like the Mime getting akumatized, I don't know, it's like kind of cool to think about. But being able to like, you know, poof anything out of air, or like being able to like, you know how mimes work, they recreate something and then they pretend it's real, like, you know, that little box thing. I'm not gonna recreate it because it'll go terribly wrong, but you get what I mean. Anyways, honestly, just think about what this akumatization could have done. Like, I mean, he could have had like something like a big bomb and just blew something up. Like it's just, there's a lot to do with like this akumatization. And honestly, I feel like, again, if a lot of people were smarter with their akumatizations, Hawkmoth probably would have won. But let me know what you guys would have done if you had this ability of the Mime, because I had to think about it. Yeah, I'm not gonna say what I would do with the ability, but It's fun to think. Number 4, we have Kwami Buster. Now, this power was, the reason I ranked this a little bit so high is because, honestly, the power was so specific and it made it so much more cooler. I mean, she was able to take Kwamis even when they were transformed. And this ability is pretty dangerous. I mean, if they didn't know where she was at and she was able to take their Kwamis, then they would have just lost. Their abilities would have been revealed, or their identities would be revealed. And if Marinette wasn't as smart as she was, anyways, the reason why I put this so high is because, again, the power was so specific and it just made it so much more cooler, the fact that it was specific. Because, again, more general powers like super strength or like super speed is like cool and all, but like being able to see like specific akumatizations is like honestly really cool to see, and it just makes it like so much more underrated. And I wish people would talk about these abilities a little bit more. I mean, Kwami Buster, I don't know why Hawkmoth akumatizes I don't know why he akumatizes like the same people over and over again without thinking of like the abilities that these people had. Like Kwami Buster was really strong, and I feel like he should have been looking out for this opportunity at any possible chance, but Kwami Buster was a really cool ability. So now at number 3, we have Malediktator. Now Malediktator's power was really cool to me because being able to give orders and them just doing whatever is honestly a cool ability to have. I mean, he could just tell a plane to go crash itself, and unfortunately it will crash itself. So honestly, this ability was really insane. I mean, I feel like, again, if it was in the hands of like someone smarter, and again, most of these abilities that I'm ranking is specifically if they were given to someone smarter, or someone just used their ability just a little bit more smarter, then these powers could have been absolutely detrimental and just absolutely mess up the team at any given point. So honestly, it would be cool to see Lila, the newer Hawkmoth, use this to her advantage and think of like all these abilities and re-akumatize these people, because honestly these abilities were absolutely insane, and if they were given to the wrong hands. But Malediktator's like design, it wasn't like too cool or anything, but overall the power was really amazing. I mean, just giving an order to someone and then just listening to it, and I love how it like always matches. I love how like similar it matches to the character, because again, the mayor, and honestly I feel like that's like a really nice touch. The reason why I ranked it so high is because I had to think of like all these like different factors, but overall I feel like Malediktator, like although like the akumatization wasn't too memorable, the power was absolutely insane. I gotta give it its props. Now at number 2, we have Backorder. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Backorder. Say that 5 times fast. Backorder. Yeah, okay, it's not hard to say that 5 times fast. I think I'm just tripping. Anyways, Backorder had a really cool power. I mean, she had time manipulation, but the reason why, like, I know time manipulation is like kind of basic, but the reason why I made it so much cool is it wasn't only limited to people, but it was also limited to objects as well. So she can turn anyone or anything back in time, which made the power so much more cooler. And let's just talk a minute about the design. I mean, the design was overall so cool. I love how it was like simple and clean it was, and the fact that it like she had like little broken like design to it, or like to resemble the broken clock. It honestly like makes the appearance like so much more cooler, and I love like the little details. I love when they add like little details to that. So honestly, I got to give them props for that. But also Backwater like also has like a really interesting ability to think about, because again, if she was able to send like multiple people back in time, then they would have a lot to worry about. And if she was able to land a hit on both Ladybug and Cat Noir and send them all the way back in time, then. And honestly, I gotta like think about these powers a little bit more, because like again, if she was able to like land a hit on both of them, like just think about like just one touch and they're able to like lose a fight. It's just honestly cool to think about like all these different abilities. And I know it's like not really like cool to think about like the fact that she was able to touch like one of them, so it doesn't make them like as like underrated. But honestly, I feel like this like akumatization wasn't talked about enough, and it just really shows like the power of like the butterfly miraculous and how it could be used. And I love like seeing like how like powerful it can get, but I love like how like different people react like with different emotions, like how intense the emotions were when they were akumatized. And honestly, I wish they would have capitalized this a little bit more in the series, but hopefully we'll see that in upcoming seasons. Now at number 1, this one I had to think about really hard, and I almost got a headache thinking about this one, but I feel like this akumatization might have been the most underrated in the entire series. At number 1, we have Mr. Pigeon. Now, Mr. Pigeon, okay, I'm joking. At number 1, we have Simple Man. Now, if you don't remember this akumatization, it's totally cool, because I mean, it's kind of forgettable, but the power is honestly, it's really cool to think about because it's kind of like complex. So well, actually it's not complex because okay, that kind of like contradicts Simple Man. Anyway, Simple Man's ability is to make everything simple. So basically, you know how like different people have like different jobs and like their jobs can get really complex and not everything's simple. Like let's say for a doctor, like, you know, let's just think of like of a simple definition of a doctor to help people. But you know, it goes a lot deeper than that. So if he hits them with the ability of a doctor, if he overall helps them, like if he gives them a bandage, that would be considered helping. The doctor wouldn't have to do anything. Let's just say, for an example, like you hurt yourself at school, and you know you go to the nurse office with a broken arm. She gives you an ice pack, tells you to lie down for 5 minutes and go back to class. See, that would be the power working. Simple Man. The nurse technically helps you, so that makes it more simple. So honestly, I love how like I love this ability just overall. Like honestly, I feel like if you guys don't remember this episode, I would recommend you to go back and watch it because honestly, it's cool to think about like something like so simple could be so insane. And the fact that she gave like the fact that she was able to hit Marinette with this ability, it just shows like how insane it could be. I mean, like her, like obviously Marinette's like role as Ladybug is really complex and she needs to do a lot more than saving Paris, but or like stopping the Akumatization, but like when she's hit with the simple ability, her actions are straightforward and she doesn't have no complex thinking like to it. And honestly, I feel like more Akumatization should have been like this. And honestly, as silly as it was, seeing how something so simple could be so insanely good is cool to think about. So that's my top 10 list. So as always, you know what I'm about to say. Please comment your top 10 most underrated miraculous Akumatizations because I love hearing about your opinion more than I love talking, and I really love talking because I like to yap a lot, but that's an excuse for that's for a different day. Anyways, as always, make sure to drop a subscribe if you enjoyed the video and even a like, and of course I have a Twitch if you would like to go follow. It would really help out a lot, and I would love to play some games that you guys would recommend. So as always, oh wait, I already said as always. Actually, you know what? Why don't you guys just go ahead and like watch my other videos? Yeah, I feel like